Hello, and welcome back to Andertons Music TV. My name is Rob, and we're here today to talk about Komplete 10 and why it should be in your music arsenal. So what we're going to do today is a really brief demonstration using Komplete 10, all the lovely sounds you get with that. I've got in front of me the Control S25 and the Machine Studio, and then Audio 6. I'm just going to go through, use that with the software. So we've got some screen stuff going on here so you can see what we're doing. Cool. So I'll start with using the S25 for the integration features we've got with Komplete 10 and Komplete 10 Ultimate. Same thing applies really over here. We're going to use the arrangement really to show you what we're doing with that. So what we're going to be doing today is basically making a tune from scratch using the S25 and Machine Studio. Let's start making some beats. Right, so first of all I'm going to put some drums in. Let's go for some Polyplex. Let's have a look. Bassive sounds like a good one. Let's put that on sound 1. Cool, so sounds good to me. Either play it on that side or play it on the machine. I'll probably step sequence the drums to start with, so let's jump into there. Make sure fixed velocities. Cool, that sounds okay. Go into Polyplex now, just to change the sounds up a little bit. Good thing in Polyplex is you can almost randomise everything to get a unique sound each time you do whatever you like with it. Cool, so on the screen I've got 8 different pads for each sound, and which has got a dice underneath it. So I can click that, change the sound quite dramatically. So I'm going to go for a slightly houseier sound, so I can go in and adjust everything I need to. That sounds okay for the time being. So what I'm going to do is grab a second kit from the Komplete library. So let's go and have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at one of these groups here. Let's go for an 808 kit. Drop that into group 2. Cool, so then I can do either step sequence again or just play over the top. So let's find some claps.
This record is dedicated to all the lovers of the 808.
Let's try this. Cool, just a nice little snare pattern there. I can go in and maybe hit some hi-hats. That works. Cool, so very basic drum rhythms going on there. So as you can see, I've been working for about 2 or 3 minutes, if that, and I've already got a fairly good structure for a song. That's the main thing that Komplete does. It makes it easier to make songs. So I can go into the Komplete library, choose my drums, choose any sort of effects I want to do from the Komplete library, load it into Machine, and within minutes I've already got a pretty in-depth tune using the hardware. Obviously this can be used without the hardware, but it's much easier to do so. Next thing is to add some melodies. So I'll just get the beat going again. Cool, so inside of Komplete 10 you have tons of different instruments to use. I won't have time to go into all of these, but I will look at rounds really quickly. So let me grab something like Andertons. That sounds fun. I'll drop that into sound 1. Cool, so now I've got that mapped to the front of my S25. So I've got all of the macros at the top going through different sections. So that sounds cool. It's got some arpeggiation to it. Try it. There we go. So I can change the effects on this one here. Changing the cutoff. Nice little ravey sound. And again, with the transport controls on my S25, I can record straight in. So I'll just want to change that to a, let's have a look. Let's make that a 2-bar pattern. Cool, so that sounds alright. So as you can see my arrangement, I've got a 2-bar loop going over and over, so we can change that to do whatever I want. Maybe change it, make it shorter, make it longer, anything like that. So I'm going to maybe look at adding a bass line. So go to sound 2. Let's have a look into the selection of sounds from rounds, or let's actually have a look at contour. That's another really strong synth application from, again, the Komplete library. we go. Cool, let's drag that. And let's try and find a bass tone. Let's try a blip bass, see what that sounds like. So load that into Sound 2. So as it is, I've got 3 groups currently. The first one has got Polyplex as a drum, and I've got my 808 kits on B1, so group 2, and then group 3, so group C, I've got my chords and my bass lines. So that sounds okay. Again, I've got the same measurements. Cool, so now that's in there, I can actually go into Contour and adjust the sound. So as you can see on the screen, I've got lots of different things to play with here. Main things is to have a look at the shaper. So I can bring that up or down, change the drive. Baseline again. Cool, bring the volume up a bit. Really easy interface to use, Contour. Very easily mapped out. So you've got your echo, your reverbs, or your effects down the bottom, then your oscillators and your combination filters all on the same screen. So you can go into more depth, so I'm just going to briefly go over it to show all the bits and pieces we have in Komplete, but as I said, it's much more detailed than what I'm doing today. As you can see, that's a lot punchier now. I've just played with it for a little bit and bring the chords back in. Cool, so that's starting to sound a bit more coherent. I'm just going to mix it a little bit. If I go on to mix control here, I can go in and just do the levels if I want to. Have a look. Let's have a look. Cool, so the next thing is to maybe add a little bit more percussion. So I'll go back into my 808 kit, or even add in another instance of another kit. So maybe some percussion, let's have a look what we've got. Let's get a bongo kit, let's put that on the top group. Make a bit of room for everything else. Good thing about Machine is being able to do all this on the unit. Saves any clicking around, just that. Cool. Cool, so let's load that in. Cool, so that's a pretty good loop going on there. Next thing I want to do is start arranging it. So, my scene, I've got my first scene there, I can hit that and go to my second one and add a pattern from anywhere I like. So I want to add a drum group, so let's add the same drum beat at the start. Go to B, same again. Maybe just the bass line on the bongos. Cool, so I can go back and forth between scenes. Might want to take something out of there. Cool, so I've got a small arrangement going on here now. Starts on the scene 1, moves over to scene 2, really self-explanatory, but it's a nice way of arranging stuff, taking things in and out of a group, or of a scene even. Starts to build up a little bit of a selection there. Cool, so what I've got in there to kind of recap so far. Polyplex for the drums. I've got a standard machine drum set for the 808 kit. Then I've got bongos playing over the top, and then I've got a contour bass line. What we can do now is add in as much as we want or as little as we like. So let's go through. Maybe add some effects on top of it now. So inside of my chords, I might want to go in and change the macros again. So super responsive, really, really easy to use. Cool, and then I've actually got my arpeggiation settings as well. Cool, so as I said, I've been working for a little amount of time, not a huge amount, but it shows that you can get a lot done really quickly. Right, I'm just going to quickly run through some of the plugins I'm using. So to start with Polyplex, which is a really interesting drum tool from Native Instruments. So obviously you've got 8 different pads across the top with a sample essentially being played on each. So if I hit the dice, it will actually generate a different sound. So completely different, so it's randomized. It is random to a point. Obviously you can go in and change each of the samples and how much you're using of each level there, which is really interesting because you can actually kind of sculpt the sound to whatever you want it to be. At the bottom you've got the LFO and the envelope, so I can actually design whatever sound you want if you know what you're doing. Really interesting element to use in any production. As you can see, you can change the actual wave if you're going to synthesize anything. So yeah, really versatile little drum program here. Again, it can go into much more detail with your global effects and everything, but as I said, we're just going to do a quick run through. Obviously key at the top to change what sort of key you're playing in. Right, I think the next one I was using was Contour, which was down here for my bass line. Cool. So that is a very basic form. It is a synthesizer, but obviously that is a very basic description of it. So there's a lot more you can do with this. As you can see, I've got all my envelopes down that side, effects, mix, and then obviously my oscillators in the middle with my combination filters. I can go through add drama, as you can see. These almost act like macros, but with an automation almost. It just adds a bit of excitement to it. Really useful to get some sort of dynamics into the mix. As I said, I'm not going into huge detail, just adding a little bit of information on these, but do remember this is all included inside of Komplete. Cool, going on to the chords I've got here from Rounds. So this, I believe, has got a split of analog and digital sound sets, or obviously emulators in there. So if I open it up, you can see that I have got these 4 different oscillators to a point, which will kind of go up and down the sequence. So, almost like an arpeggiator, you'll run up the scales and then add a different effect or a different oscillation to it. I can go into the oscillators underneath. So, giving you really strong and easy to use modulation filters. So you can output it to different output it to different sends, and obviously it's your main output, and then you've got your amp envelope as well. change the playback to having it as mono chord. So it's a really, really fun little program which allows you to get up or make a load of different sort of sounds you wouldn't expect to be able to make with something so simple. So again, really good product from the Komplete library. So to briefly recap, we have looked at some of the sounds, some of the ways it interacts with machine, how we can use it with the S25, the macros. Basically, it's just showing how much the Komplete library can help in anyone's sort of studio setup. At the moment, we have got some great deals in store. To start with, on the 1st of June, we have got the Komplete 10 Ultimate bundle, which is 75 products, over 17,000 sounds, over 440 gigabytes of effects and instruments for as little as $4.99. So that is a great deal. We also have Komplete 10, which has got 39 products, about 12,000 sounds, 130 gigabytes of instruments, only £289. So make sure you come in the store, have a look at the setup. These will be here to display. Cool, so that is pretty much it. It's a very basic overview of Komplete 10, showing you why you should get it today from us, because it's a great price. Yeah, my name's Rob. Make sure you check out all of our Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Thank you very much.